All right, I'd like to welcome everyone to the Borough of River Edge for our swearing in of two officers. We know Officer Hall will be arriving momentarily. We're just going to take care of a few of the procedural details, and because we're going to be losing the light soon, which is why we had it at 6 o'clock. So, it's okay. So I gavel into this meeting of the Borough of River Edge Mayor and Council, October 25th, 2021, regular meeting. I ask for everyone to take a moment to remember all those who have given their life in service of their community. For all the services, I ask us also to remember to all those who work hard for us and serve with honor as we celebrate 2 new police officers for our police force. Our flag is right there. If we could all turn towards it. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Statement of compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act. This meeting complies with the Open Public Meeting Act by notification October 15th of this location, date, and time to the Ridgewood News and the Record, and by posting of the same municipal bulletin board and the borough website, filing a notice of the same with the municipal clerk. Roll call.
Councilwoman Bastide. Councilwoman Kinsella. Councilwoman Kaufman. Councilman Gaudier. Councilman Canigo.
Is absent with prior notice.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen.
Is absent with prior notice.
And Mayor Papaleo.
Present. All right, everyone. So again, my name is Mayor Tom Papaleo. I'm glad to welcome everyone here for our swearing in of Officer Ryan and Officer Jason, Ryan Riley and Jason S. Hall. We need to move resolutions to allow us to swear them in. These resolutions will make them employees of the borough. So could I have a motion from Councilwoman Bastide in a second, from Councilman Kinsella, to move 21-296 and 21-297, right, resolutions? It has been moved and seconded, the appointment of Patrol Officer Ryan P. Riley and Jason S. Hall. Roll call.
Councilwoman Bastide. Councilwoman Kinsella. Councilwoman Kaufman. Councilman Gaudier.
Yes.
So Councilman Gaudier is with us virtually. Okay. So at this point, we might pause. Jason's here, awesome. And we have everybody else. Timing was impeccable. Oh, so we need a few more minutes?
Less than 5.
All right. So we will, for the public, we will just pause for 5 minutes. We will edit this out of the final video, and then we will begin. Thank you. All right, so we will resume now with the swearing in of Officer Ryan P. Riley. Officer Riley, would you please repeat after me? I state your name.
Ryan Riley,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I
and that I
will bear true faith and allegiance
will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the government
and to the government
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I state your name.
I, Ryan Riley,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
as a member of the River Edge Police Department
as a member of the River Edge Police Department
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Officer Riley, if you can stand the fellow officers. Officer Hall. And who will be holding the Bible? And I can just move a little more center. Is that? Oh, fuck. Come on. Officer Jason Hall, please repeat after me. I state the name.
I, Jason Hall,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I
that I
will bear true faith and allegiance
will bear true faith and
allegiance
allegiance
to the same
to the same,
and to the government
to the government
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I state your name.
I, Jason Hall,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
as a member of
as a member of
the River Edge Police Department
the River Edge Police Department
to the best of my
to
ability,
the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. I call back into order the meeting of the mayor and council, October 25th, 2021, regular meeting. We have just completed our call to order, silence, flag salute, statement of compliance, roll call, approval of resolutions 21-226, 21-227, and the oath of office for our newest two officers, Officer Ryan P. Riley and Jason S. Hall. We are now at item number 7 in the agenda for discussion. We begin with a tabled resolution 21-282, waive police outside duty fee 21-282. Approval to waive the police outside duty fee for Sylvan Colon 894 Bogart Road. So I bring this back to the attention of the council. I remind the council that Council President Kinigo stated, and I concurred, that we waive outside duty in general for Kinderkamack Road because it is a county road and it does require police presence. That was the stipulation we had made when we had done it before. What is the council's interest at this point?
Excuse me, Mayor, if the governing body wishes to proceed to discuss the ordinance, there has to be a motion and second with a roll call to remove from the table.
Yes, and also I think since we suspended for a short period of time, do we need to do a roll call for this portion of the meeting?
No, it's not necessary.
Okay, I think we lost Councilwoman Kinsella.
He's
No,
She's
she's
back.
back.
having trouble hearing.
Okay, so the item is tabled. If the council is not interested in approving said waiver, then the council would decline to remove from the table the resolution. Does the council wish to move the resolution?
I would move, well, we have some comments from Chief Walker regarding this issue. Do we have to move it off the table in order to review those?
According to Robert's rules, yes.
Okay, then I will make a motion to take it off the table.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. Roll call.
Councilwoman Bastu,
Yes,
Councilman Gaudier,
yes,
Councilwoman Kaufman,
Yes,
Councilwoman Kinsella,
She's having trouble hearing right now.
I'm not getting anything.
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
All right, we're gonna have to wait a second. She's gonna dial back in on her phone.
Sure.
Well, the chief is here as a participant if you want to move him over as a panelist, because there are a couple items involving him.
Why don't we do that? Councilwoman Kinsella, can you hear us? We cannot hear you. Your mic is off.
Now I can. Sorry, my computer was not working.
So the roll call was, the motion is to take off the table resolution 21-282. Yay or nay?
Yay.
All right. Councilwoman Bastide, you have the floor.
We can't hear you. You're muted.
Sorry,
One
I had
second.
to join on my phone. My computer wasn't working either, so I apologize. I had to hit a different button. Thank you, Mayor. We all received some correspondence from Chief Walker regarding this request to waive police outside duty, in which he states that we get probably less than a handful of these requests a year. He didn't have objection to waiving the request, and that it often does end up in improvements to residents' homes, which is positive. So based on all of that, I would make a motion to grant this request to waive the outside duty fee.
I second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. So before roll call, there is debate. Is there debate? Any other comments? Hearing none. Roll call.
Councilwoman Bastide,
Yes.
Councilman Godier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman,
Yes,
Councilwoman Kinsella,
Yes.
Okay, it has been approved. Item B, request for exemption, resident parking on Grove Street. Ms. Apatola.
The property owners of 809 Park Avenue had contacted me requesting parking for their tenants on Grove Street, as that property only has a 2-car garage. We had researched any prior minutes to see if there was any similar request that had come before the governing body, because the property owner said that the prior owner was able to obtain permits. And there was discussion in late 2019, and it was supposed to be researched and brought back to the governing body in early 2020, but nothing was brought forward. And so Chief Walker conducted a site inspection of the area, and he can provide further information to help the governing body deliberate on the request.
Okay, so in all my time, I don't remember us making an exception other than if it's like a day or two type of thing, a permanent thing. I would have concerns about the offering the lot, because these, you're probably talking overnight parking. It is dark back there, it's uneven. And you're also going to potentially start, a precedent where I think everyone in that 911 northeast side of town has to contend with the 911, and for the right reasons. They, when they educate themselves about it, they understand that if it wasn't there, the commuters would just take up all the streets. So obviously it's there for a reason. The majority, obviously the overwhelming majority, do contend with it. Once in a while they get a ticket, but that can happen to any one of us. I just don't see how we can make an exception for that particular house as compared.
And not,
block.
Chief, I want to chime in on this. We had discussed this for Manning Avenue, and which I live on. I was on the council at the time. It was the chief's opinion, the previous chief's opinion, that this would not stand up in court. We're basically restricting parking. And the people who would be parking, the commuters who would be parking there would be residents from the town. So we would just be moving residents from one area to another. This would not necessarily solve any problem. In addition to that, we're opening up a can of worms, because then this request will happen every street where there are parking restrictions. I know that I have to move my car from 9 to 11 on a regular basis. There are other restrictions that may not be 9 to 11, but I caution the council from moving forward on this. I think it sets a precedent that will create more chaos than good. But that's my opinion. It is the council's decision unless there's a tie in the vote. Is there any debate from the council? Hearing none, I'm going to assume that the council is not going to consider this request, and we will move on to item C. Mel and Jiff Employment Practices Liability Compliance Program. Ms. Apatora.
This is just for your information only. All municipalities were required by November 1st to meet certain requirements for the Municipal Employment Liability Joint Insurance Fund. And we met all the requirements. Our borough attorney, Mr. Sarlo, signed off on it. And those requirements involved adopting an updated personnel manual, which we did back in September. We've distributed the Conscientious Employee Protection Act notice to all personnel. Every reorg, we adopt a model civil rights resolution and offer a variety of training to managerial and supervisory personnel, anti-harassment training. So this is just to state on the record that we met the criteria for compliance and met it ahead of the deadline.
Congratulations. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. 2021 best practice inventory.
The best practices inventory is a requirement from the state. They started it about 10 years ago. And based on the scoring and the results, if municipalities don't meet a certain threshold, then they start reducing the last payment of state aid. And state aid is an amount of funding that all municipalities receive from the state, and that's included as an item of revenue in the budget. So based on our score, we keep all of our funding. There is no aid being withheld. We scored 21 points, and to have no aid withheld, you need at least 15. And the deadline to file this is November 3rd. Again, we are ahead of it. The CFO will certify this by inputting it on the state database. Then I confirm that the results were reviewed at a governing body meeting, and our deputy clerk would confirm that information.
So it is a threshold of 15 and we scored 21. That's outstanding. That is
Right.
outstanding. Congratulations. Fee schedule revision.
Even though our code is being evaluated by a codification company, that is more to look at our legislation to see what's out of date or inconsistent. What I had the departments do is review the borough's fee schedule. As remember earlier this year, we adopted a fire prevention ordinance that none of the fees were codified. So, and this is usually an exercise that does pop up on the best practices inventory. It didn't pop up this year. So in reviewing the current fees, many of them are out of date, so they have to be removed. Like, we don't sell a zoning booklet, a subdivision land booklet. The Xerox copies, that legislation changed over 10 years ago under Oprah. If we provide paper documents, it has to be 5 cents for a letter page, 7 cents for legal. So there are inconsistencies. It has raffle license fees at $15. In all my years, it's never been $15, so that's inconsistent. And the only things to add is the Board of Health reviewed and recommended increasing the dog and cat licenses by $2. Back in 2007, the legislation changed where a municipality can charge up to $21 for a dog license, and this fee has not been touched since then. They do recommend bringing it to the full amount, but in a very incremental manner. And the Board of Health will be looking at all their permits next year, as some things need to be increased, others decreased, and some eliminated altogether. The only item I want to bring to your attention is adding an insufficient funds fee. That's a state statute that's never been collected by the borough. Whenever there was a bounce check, that needs to be codified. And the land use, not the board, but the land use clerk has recommended increasing the cost of the variance applications in part to meet the increasing cost on providing the packets to the land use board members, as postage rates have been increasing for several years. And as I said, many of the components of the fee schedule have not been touched in at least a decade. So if the governing body agrees with the recommendations, then I would just put this in ordinance format for introduction and adoption before the end of this year, especially to notify the Board of Health Secretary with the changes in the dog and cat licenses before renewal forms are sent out.
So I ask the council. Are there any objections?
None for me.
No objections.
No, thank you. No, none here.
None here.
All right, Lizette. Vehicle replacement.
Chief Walker will speak to that in greater detail. Just to introduce the topic, there was a vehicle that was completely damaged by Tropical Storm Ida, and the insurance did provide a partial amount to cover the cost of the loss of the vehicle. Chief Walker explained why the vehicle needs to be replaced, and we had researched old capital ordinances, old capital balances that would make up the difference in the cost of the vehicle and the upfitting. So the borough does not need to incur any additional debt. We have balances that we're required to clean up anyway. But I give the floor to Chief Walker.
Thank you. First, I want to thank Lizette for, I sat with her and she was very thorough in looking through what are existing caps that I was aware of some of them, but not all of them that still pertain to the police department and in fact would fit this category of replacing the radio car. We did lose a radio car on Valley Road. And it was, doesn't matter, reserve was driving it, but I say it could have been any one of us, these things happen. And the radio cars are obviously important to us. We are having issues with certain cars right now, the new cars, as you know, we work with the mechanic on it, we've worked with Ford. So we're dealing with that also. You'll hear me go into for next year to try and stay on that 2 radio cars a year. It just keeps us in a good place. But when we lose a car, generally it's going to have an effect on us, especially with the amount of traffic that's occurring right now. The traffic details, we're basically, guys are out every day. And you know, that means we're making money. The officers are making money and the town's making money. So it's just something that really we need to replace. And initially I was concerned because I was gonna have to come to you and try to ask for, you know, to come up with money from other areas. But again, after I knew I had some money in cap and then talked to Lizette, we can cover the entire car and the upfitting from the cap that already exists.
So, Ms. Apatella, do we need a motion from the council to proceed with the replacement?
Well, if there's consensus among the governing body, then Chief Walker and I will finalize getting all the information and putting it in a resolution format, because for the expenditure to take place, you'd have to adopt a resolution.
Is the council, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to ask how much is not going to be covered? How much are we moving over for this?
So it's all gonna be covered under between the insurance that we receive, the insurance money for the car itself, and existing caps that are either older caps or, caps that are, were earmarked
Chief,
for
just
something.
for the public's benefit, CAPS stands for capital, capital funding, correct?
Yes, sorry. So there won't be any money. I mean, caps cost, we know everything costs money. We just don't get money for free. Let's not say that, but this isn't something where we're gonna have to take out of any other budget from the town. No, you guys aren't gonna have to like go open up a safe somewhere and find money. We're able to pay for this car with money that is sitting in these capital expenditures, capital funds. And that really needs to be used if it's used properly. And I would be looking at a couple other different things to spend it on, but obviously this is, prioritizing the needs. So the radio car is the most important thing right now.
And they're
Quick
about,
question.
I'm sorry, there were about like 6 or 7 different line items of old capital funds that were balances for either vehicles or radios, computer equipment. So when we prepare the ordinance, the governing body does receive a page called certification of funds from the CFO, and it would outline all the old accounts, I think going back to 16 different balances here and there.
Just wondering, how much is the total cost of the vehicle and how much has insurance covered?
The insurance, I believe, covered around 17,000, and the vehicle, totally equipped, once we will put everything in it, is between 45 and 50,000.
Okay. And I assume it only covered 17,000 because of, say, the mileage on the car and whatnot?
Yes.
Okay.
It wasn't older. It wasn't one of our line cars. It was down. But as you know, what happens is when this car comes in, so now we'll take a line car and move it down to a traffic car, which is not a bad thing. You'll hear me again somewhere down the road talk about the importance of these traffic cars again. They, generally they're moving down the line, but sometimes they get too old and then they're down for a period of time, and we're not able to do the details.
All right. Thank you, Chief. I have no objection.
So just for the public's edification, Ms. Apertola, what we're doing is we've already approved capital. This capital, we always have to approve a little bit more than it may cost for ancillary expenditures. And after we make purchases in prior years, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, there is a balance. And from time to time, the balance, which has been approved by ordinance and public meeting, would then be either reabsorbed into the budget or redirected towards a similar item. And so that's what we're doing. We're redirecting funding that had been approved in prior years' budgeting by ordinance and public meeting.
That is correct. Any balances of items that were not spent, they would be canceled and either the debt authorization is gone. It's like if you put a hold on your credit card and you end up not spending it, then the hold is gone. Or it goes into something called fund balance, which is a surplus account for capital purposes only. And the auditors really like us to clean up old balances. The CFO prepared a resolution at the last meeting to clean up some really old ordinances going back, I think, to 13 and 14. So we would need to do some type of housekeeping in this manner eventually.
So we're just we're making good use of an opportunity so as not to add in further expense upon the public or increase our 2022 budget.
Correct.
Okay, great. Anything else, Ms. Apertola?
I'm all discussed out. I have nothing more. I'm sure you're glad I don't have anything more.
All right. So at this point, we move to minutes. Item number 8. Could I have a motion from Councilwoman Kaufman and a second from Councilman Gaudier to approve the minutes of the mayor and council regular meeting October 12, 2021, and the minutes of the mayor and council closed session October 2021?
So moved.
Second.
If any member of council needs to abstain from any part of the vote when their name is called, please state it at that point. If not, your yay or nay would be for both motions. Roll call.
Councilwoman Bastoud,
Yes.
Councilman Godier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella,
Yes.
Okay, could I have Councilwoman Kinsella and Councilwoman Bastide move to open to the public on any item on the agenda only?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Bastoud,
Yes.
Councilman Godier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella,
Yes.
Okay, Councilwoman Kaufman is our moderator. I surrender the meeting to her for the purpose of public comments.
So if anyone has a question, you can either raise your hand or type it in the chat box and I will allow you to speak. I do not see any questions.
All right, then. Could I have Councilwoman Bastide move and Councilman Gaudier second to close to the public on any item on the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Bastoud,
Yes.
Councilman Godier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella,
Yes.
Okay, we move to item number 10, appointment and personnel changes. We have four of them. Mr. Sarlo, I can move them as a group. Is that not correct?
Correct, Mayor. You can move them as a group.
Excellent. So could I, when I finish, could I have Councilwoman Kaufman move and Councilwoman Kinsella second? And the following, A, B, C, and D. Approve the salary increase of Patrol Officer Brenton Presentoff from an annual salary of $97,495 to Patrol Officer 12th grade, $106,635, effective November 3rd, 2021. Approve the appointment of Andrew Capuano as a junior firefighter effective October 25th, 2021. C, approve the salary change of Joseph LaRosa, laborer in the Department of Public Works, from an annual labor two step one salary of $37,142 to a labor two step two $39,022, effective November 9th. Approve the salary change of Kenneth Morso, tree trimmer in the Department of Public Works, from an annual tree trimmer one step four salary of $78,974 to tree trimmer one step five $80,027, effect November 5th, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Bastoud,
Yes.
Councilman Godier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella,
Yes.
Item number 11, monthly reports. We have, for the public is interested, they can come to the clerk's office and get a copy. There is the Environmental Commission / Green Team of September 2021, Fire Department, September 2021, Board of Health, September 2021, Fire Prevention, July through September 2021, and Historic Commission, September 2021. We have no ordinances for first or second reading. We have two resolutions by consent. Could I have Councilwoman Kaufman and Councilman Gaudier move and second Resolution 21-298 and Resolution 21-299?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Bastoud,
Oh, hold on.
Yes.
This is debatable. Is there debate? All right, we'll continue. We had Councilwoman Bastide say yes.
Councilman Godier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman,
Yes.
Woman Kinsella,
Yes.
Okay, if Councilwoman Kaufman could move resolution 21-300, payment of the bills, and another member of the Finance Committee second.
At a regular meeting of the Mayor and Council of the Borough of River Edge, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, held on October 25th, 2021, be it resolved that the Mayor and Council of the Borough of River Edge approve the following expenditures. Current fund, $556,629.77. Capital fund, $6,138. Grant fund, $17,000.
Councilwoman Kaufman, I believe you meant to say $60,138.
Okay, I thought that was what I said.
I think you said $6,138.
$60,138. Grant fund, $17,317.87. Trust other fund, $7,701.92. Developers escrow fund, $645. Self-insurance trust fund, $35.73. Recreation trust fund, $1,062.21. So moved.
Second.
Roll call. Oh, I'm sorry. Roll call. Joe seconded.
Councilwoman Bastoud,
Yes.
Councilman Godier,
Yes.
Woman Kaufman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella,
Yes.
All right, by any chance, do we have our junior firefighter present? Councilwoman Kaufman, do you see him?
He is not here.
All right, then. Then we're going to move on to new business. Is there any new business at this time?
I just had one thing I wanted to mention, or when we do get back into the council room, we'll be using the new camera system there.
Yes.
And Verizon does not have any HD channel for sending out our meetings to everyone to view. Cablevision does have the ability to use the HD feed that we would be giving them at that time, but they told me that that would mean that anyone who did not have an HD TV would need to upgrade their TV to HD, and that they can easily downscale the feed to SD that we give them so that everyone can still view it. So I was going to recommend that we leave the channel at Cablevision as is so that everyone can view it with their current TV.
I think that makes sense. What does the council feel?
Makes sense. Thanks for bringing that forward,
Agreed.
Rochelle.
Yes,
And-
agreed.
Okay.
Any other new business or old? Okay, could I have a motion from Councilwoman Kinsella and a second from Councilwoman Bastoud to open to the public on any matter?
So moved?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Bastoud,
Yes.
Councilman Godier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella,
Yes.
Okay, Councilwoman Kaufman, take us away.
Okay, so I do see a question from Doreen Frago. 1 second. Doreen, if you could state your address and name.
Hi, my name is Doreen Fraga, 123 Dana Way in Saddlebrook, New Jersey. So my question is, I'm from Animal Protection League of New Jersey, and we were reaching out to the Bergen County towns regarding the geese. We wanted to know if you had any kind of issues with the geese, what kind of goose management plan that you had in place, because we do have a lot of geese, and a solution is habitat modification. Work on have an architect be willing to discuss the solutions, find out what your needs are to permanently move the geese out of the area if you are having any concerns.
Denise, you broke up, but I think what you were saying was you were offering a service to the borough if we're having issues.
Yes, with the geese. If you have, do you have any kind of geese problems? Any kind of, we wanted to know what plans that you had in place and if you needed any help.
Denise, are you a for-profit corporation?
we're a nonprofit organization. Animal Protection League is our organization.
Okay. So, to my knowledge, no, but Chief, Ms. Apertola, I don't think River Edge has a geese problem.
Because I do a lot of outreach throughout the state, and a resident did approach me and asked me to attend one of the mayor and council meetings because they were saying that there was like a lot of geese and there was some issues, and that I should bring this forward and discuss it so that we could give you, all of the non-lethal solutions.
Well, I walked the town from the southern part of the town, the northern part of town. I haven't seen any, but Chief, are you aware of any major geese issues in town?
I don't know that they're major, but we certainly do get them down by Kenneth B. George. I mean, that's where we're gonna have our if we have a geese issue.
Yeah.
That's where we're gonna get them. I know we've gone back and forth, and I'm gonna kind of speak for rec, I guess. I know there's been some concerns with what their contamination can do to the soil. But generally, I mean, I've coached many games down there. You get on the field and the geese take off. It's not like they stop a game. But they're down there. I think Carolyn might have a better idea of how much it can hinder down there. Doing the infields over the years, you had to spend a little time raking their feces off the infield. It's going to be in the outfield. I mean, I think that's going to be any fields in this area. You're going to have that. And we don't do anything lethal or I think maybe there's been a dog run down there every now and then, something like that. They may have tried, but nothing where we're, confrontational with them.
Doreen?
Yes. So if you need any further information, I can always email you our packet, and it has a lot of good stuff in there, a lot of non-lethal methods. Like I said, habitat modification. If it becomes an issue, I'm very happy to learn that you don't do anything non-lethal, that you don't do anything lethally. That's good. And so I can supply that information, if I can get an email address.
So you can go to the borough website and you can send that information to our rec director and to our business administrator. And those email addresses are available from the website. You can also send it to the mayor and council. Also, there's a way to do that. So feel free to do that. And that would be good for us to have on hand just in case we should need it.
Okay, thank you very much. And thank you for your time and for allowing me to speak tonight.
No problem, Doreen. Thank you. Anyone else?
I appreciate it.
So if anyone else has a question or comment, just raise your hand or type it in the chat box and I will call on you. Does not look like there is anyone else.
Okay, could I have a motion from Councilwoman Kinsella and a second from Councilwoman Kaufman to close to the public?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Steve,
Yes.
Councilman Gaudier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella.
Yes.
Okay, we are up to council comments. Are there any council comments?
Yes, Mayor.
Councilman Gaudier, you were recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to remind everyone that leaf season has begun, and especially with all the rain in the forecast, please bring the leaves to the street, but try to keep it away from the storm basins, okay? So we don't want leaves clogging up all of our storm drains.
All right.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Kaufman.
Yes, I just wanted to mention that the Historic Commission is looking for a Class 1 member. So if you know anyone who's got some classes in architecture and would be interested, please let me know and I will forward them on.
Councilwoman Bastida, I see you unmuted yourself.
Yep. Oh, I was just going to comment on Councilman Gaudier's reminder about leaves and just remind everyone that the Environmental Protection Commission and the Green Team are asking people to consider leaving the leaves on the grass for composting. So that just reminded me, the nixle went out. Rather than bagging up your leaves and putting them at the curb, consider leaving them and mulching them back into your grass for composting for the spring. I just would like to welcome our newest patrol officers, Ryan Riley and Jason Hall, and wish them a long and safe tenure with the borough. Thank you.
All right. Anything else? No? All right. So we do have a personnel committee meeting afterwards. So we have a separate Zoom for that, don't we?
I will send that in a few minutes.
Okay, great. I'm going to just need enough time to return. So about 5 minutes. All right, so could I have a motion and second to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Bastide,
Yes.
Councilman Gaudier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella.
Yes.
All right, then. See the personnel committee in a little while. Everyone else, we wish you a good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.